Hey, welcome to today's look at the Young Bucks book. You can hear my kids singing in the background. My other kids sitting there after having this genius idea of me being in a lounge chair by the pool to look at Super Kick Party! Super Kick Party! Super Kick Party! So if the audio on this sucks, you'll live. It's okay. It'll be good enough. And the fact that one of my kids has his head hanging down in shame means I've done my job as a parent. I'm feeling it. So it's also good to go with this theme because this is where the Bucks. By the way, this chapter was written by Nick. This chapter is all about them embracing this ethos that they had come up with of we're going to break all the rules, right? My favorite passages include sometimes I go through the chapter chronologically. This one I don't think I really need to. I might use it for reference here and there. A favorite part was when they were going to wrestle Ring of Honor again. They decided to do that to kind of create this buzz. It's also, well, no, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. And the team that they were wrestling was supposed to be the baby faces, but the crowd was going bonkers for the Bucks. And so the other tag teams sent word through the referee, like, tell them to, like, turn the crowd, meaning have the crowd boo you because you're supposed to be the heels. And then they just said, basically, suck it, like, no, we're not going to. We're just going to go out and do our thing. And I thought that was fascinating. And then all the stuff about them at PWG at the Battle for Los Angeles show with Kevin Steen and Adam Cole and how they were the Mount Rushmore of wrestling and all this kind of stuff, to the creation of their shirt business, to the origin of Pro Wrestling Tees, which is now the wrestling shirt company. It's all so fascinating, and how they were taking advantage of stuff like Twitter and all of this kind of stuff, how to promote themselves and come up with all these t-shirt designs and all this. It's a lot of wrestlers want to get to this stage without ever having gone through the other stages, right? And it's great. This is a great time to be creative in all of this, but the Bucks were also very cognizant of how to create buzz for themselves and how to, because you got to keep in mind they were forging a new path, which is how can we make money and be viable financially through merchandise sales when we don't wrestle for a major company. And this is a great study in that. And going back to Ring of Honor is interesting because Jim Cornette is no longer there. And I got to point out the kindness of Kerry Silken, who's the guy who has always had a hand in Ring of Honor, how he gives the Young Bucks $3,000 through PayPal to start, so they can start their website and get started on t-shirt inventory costs, and how they take his financial advice and the money they make on the initial shirts they put back into their business. It just feels really good to have the Bucks sort of survive all of the slings and arrows that had come their way in the previous chapters. And how they went to, it was cool to see them go to House of Hardcore for the Tommy Dreamer show and just tear it up. And the fact that their top selling t-shirt was one that just said Super Kick 4 times on it. Just the hilarity of it, and little things about different personalities of people in wrestling that I've heard about, like Gabe Sapolsky and how he would throw these temper tantrums and all this kind of stuff. Really great. And the Super Kick Party shirt that was based on the Mario Party like logo design. My kid's laughing, but yeah, that was the top selling wrestling shirt of its time. I bet you could still get it. Super Kick Party. But Super Kick Party is just fun to say. And I love that the Bucks are sort of telling these stories of like, how did Super Kick Party come about? You know, and it's just them screwing around in the locker room and guys yelling stuff. And the fact that they knew something, which was the boys thought it was cool. And if the boys thought it was cool, there's a good chance fans would think it was cool. And that's a real big shift in mentality in the wrestling business. Oh, it's Rocky Romero and Alex Kozlov are those poor victims of the Young Bucks' popularity and success at Ring of Honor. But it's just great stuff. And then Nick talks about seeing his firstborn. And he was an emotional mess. And it ends with sort of, like Matt, life changed for him with the birth of his kids, as it did for me. So that just felt really cool and very real. And they're getting an invitation because Okada, the guy that TNA screwed over and spurned, ended up becoming the biggest star at New Japan Pro Wrestling, the biggest promotion. So Okada sort of put it out to them, hey, you want to come back to Japan? It's a lot of money. So they went, and this last paragraph says it all to me. What if I'm never able to provide a good enough life for this little girl, I thought. I shushed the negative voice in my head. I had a tour ahead of me. Though leaving my 4-week-old behind was the most difficult thing I had ever done, I kissed her forehead goodbye and prayed that I'd return safely to her. Could this trip to Japan help me provide the life I wanted for my daughter? And the next chapter is called Bullet Club, so I think we know the answer to that frickin' question. However, it's really great to have all of these things put together, described in such detail, the origins of things, the etymology of phrases and words, down to you can see how certain things lay the groundwork for other things, like them getting a New Japan tour, them being part of the Bullet Club, how the Bullet Club like took off in the t-shirt business, and all those kind of things, all the learning process. Boy, they're giving you the inside look, and this is really an American success story book disguised as an autobiography. And if you're in wrestling, hell, if you're in anything, read this motherfucker. I'm going to get going, but I want to highlight my kids, Leo, and Super Kick Party!
You all don't realize, okay, how many times I've had to hear Super Kick Party over the past day, okay? No one has ever heard the word Super Kick Party this much.
Super Kick Party!
I was up even earlier than you. He said it a few times.
Anyway, have a great weekend. I'm going to get this bad boy up.
Say goodbye to Hand Unicorn.
And if you haven't gotten the Young Bucks book, it really behooves you to do it. I'm past the center part of the book, but in the next chapter, it's where they have all the pictures. So you know what it has inspired me to do? I need to hook up that scanner that fans sent me way back when. I'm going to hook it up. And I'm going to practice scanning some pictures so I can talk about it and all that kind of great stuff. Anyway, have a great day, y'all. We're having a great day here in Florida. It's gorgeous. Super Kick Party.